Have you felt the change in the atmosphere lately? Not the weather, not the political climate, but the very texture of the air around you. Do you find yourself waking up at exactly 3:33 in the morning, feeling an inexplicable sense of alertness, as if you have just been woken up by a silent alarm? Do you find yourself looking up at the night sky, staring at a specific patch of stars? Perhaps the Pleiades or Sirius or Orion, and feeling a sudden overwhelming wave of homesickness? Do you feel tears running down your face for a home you cannot remember, a family you cannot name, and a mission you cannot yet fully define? If this is happening to you, do not brush it off. Do not ignore it as mere fantasy or the byproduct of a tired mind. This is not nostalgia. This is not insomnia. This is a signal. It is a psionic ping being broadcast directly to your DNA. We are standing at the absolute edge of 2026, a year that history will record as the Great Unraveling. The world is noisy. The systems of the old Earth are screaming as they fracture. But above the noise, beneath the chaos, in the quiet spaces between your thoughts, a specific frequency is being transmitted. And only those with the matching hardware, the starseeds, the volunteers, the old souls can hear it. You are watching this video because you heard the call. You are watching this because deep down beneath the layers of societal conditioning, you know that the contact we have been waiting for is not a future event. It is happening right now. For decades, the world laughed at the idea of visitors from the stars. It was the stuff of tabloids, tinfoil hats, and science fiction. To speak of it was to risk your reputation and your sanity. But then the timeline shifted. The Pentagon released the videos. The whistleblowers came forward out of the shadows, testifying under oath before the United States Congress. The hearings of 2024 and 2026 changed the conversation from if they are here to who they are. And suddenly the reality that we are not alone is no longer a conspiracy theory. It is a geopolitical fact. But long before the declassified documents, long before the Navy pilots saw tic-tacs defying the laws of physics over the Pacific Ocean, one woman had already mapped out the entire plan. Her name was Dolores Cannon. She didn't use radar. She didn't use satellites. She used the superconscious mind of thousands of people to access the galactic archives. And what she found matches perfectly with what high-level military insiders are now whispering in the corridors of power. They both say the same thing. We are being watched, and the watchers are preparing to reveal themselves. But Dolores added the one piece of the puzzle that the military misses. The one piece that turns this from a story of invasion into a story of evolution. She explained why. Why now? Why 2026? Why is the activity increasing exponentially at this specific moment in human history? Today we are declassifying the first contact protocol as revealed in the deepest layers of the Dolores Cannon archives. This is not a Hollywood invasion scenario with laser beams and explosions. This is a spiritual intervention. The Galactic Federation, a union of advanced civilizations monitoring Earth, has initiated a precise three-stage sequence to dismantle the planetary quarantine. And we have just in these final weeks of 2026 entered the final stage. To understand where we are going, we must understand the rules of engagement. Dolores was explicit. The Earth is a school of free will. We are allowed to hurt each other. We are allowed to destroy our economies. We are allowed to make mistakes. That is how we learn. But there is one line we are not allowed to cross. We are not allowed to destroy the planet with nuclear fire. This brings us to the first and most critical protocol, the nuclear override. Why is this line drawn in the sand? Because nuclear blasts do more than just destroy a city or poison the environment. Dolores's sources explain that nuclear detonations tear the fabric of dimensions. They send shock waves through the ether that affect other worlds, other timelines, and other civilizations. We are not living in a vacuum. Our actions ripple out into the cosmos. Since the first detonation in 1945, the Galactics have been actively neutralizing our capabilities. This is not speculation. It is documented history. Consider the case of Captain Robert Salas at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, 1967. He testified that a glowing red orb appeared over the launch facility, hovering silently. Within seconds, 10 nuclear missiles, the most advanced weapons in the U.S. arsenal, went offline. They were deactivated remotely, one by one. The guidance and control systems were scrambled by a technology far beyond our understanding. This was not an act of aggression. It was an act of disarmament. It was a message to the generals. You are playing with fire and we will not let you burn down the house. In late 2026, as geopolitical tensions rise to a breaking point, as the rhetoric of war heats up in Eastern Europe and the Middle East, this intervention has gone into overdrive. If you see news of failed missile tests or unexplained power outages at military bases or communication blackouts in sensitive zones, know this. It is not incompetence. It is not a cyber attack from a foreign nation. It is them. They are disabling the toys of the children before we hurt ourselves. They are holding the line. They are ensuring that the transition to the new Earth is not cut short by a flash of atomic fire. This protection is the first signal that we are near the end of the cycle. But the second protocol is far more personal. It is not happening in the missile silos. It is happening in your bedroom. It is the protocol of mental preparation. Have you noticed the increase in sightings? Not just the metallic craft, but the orbs of light, clouds that look too perfect, too lenticular, hovering over major cities, flashes of color in your peripheral vision. This is calculated. They are showing themselves slowly, incrementally to acclimate our nervous systems. You see, the issue with contact is not that they are hiding. It is that we are vibrating too low to see them. It is a matter of physics, specifically the physics of density. Dolores Cannon often used the analogy of a fan blade. When a fan is stationary, you can see the individual blades. But when the fan is spinning at high speed, the blades become invisible. You can put your hand through the space where they are, and you might feel a breeze, but you cannot see them. The Galactics exist at a much higher vibrational frequency, a higher spin rate than humanity. They are right here occupying the same space, but they are invisible to our 3D eyes. For them to be seen, they must lower their vibration, which is difficult and uncomfortable for them, or we must raise ours. And this is exactly what is happening. As the Earth moves into the 5D frequencies, our fan blades are spinning faster. We are beginning to perceive what was always there. This explains why children often see them when adults do not. Their belief systems haven't yet slowed down their perception. If they landed on the White House lawn tomorrow, humanity would collapse in fear. Our belief systems would shatter too quickly. The ontological shock would be too great, so they are appearing to you first. The individual, the awakening soul. They are testing your reaction. Can you hold your vibration steady when you see them? Can you look at the unknown without falling into terror? If you can, you become a contact node. You become an anchor for their frequency. Dolores spoke of night school. She found that thousands of her subjects were being taken, not abducted, but invited, onto ships during their sleep state. They reported being in classrooms, learning complex geometry, studying the manipulation of energy, learning how to heal with light. When they woke up, they had no conscious memory of the lesson, only a feeling of exhaustion or a feeling that they had been working all night. This explains the chronic fatigue so many of you are feeling right now. You are living a double life. By day, you are navigating the 3D matrix, paying bills, doing the laundry, dealing with the density of the old world. But by night, you are a diplomat of the stars. You are undergoing intensive training for what comes next. You are being upgraded. Your athletic body is being strengthened to handle the higher frequencies of open contact. The ringing in your ears is the download. The vivid dreams are the memories bleeding through. You are being prepared to be the bridge between two worlds. And this leads us to the third protocol, the one that is rapidly approaching, the 2026 arrival. Both Edgar Cayce and Dolores Cannon pointed to this specific window of time. But arrival does not necessarily mean ships landing in every city. It means the veil of quarantine is lifted. It means the energetic barrier that has kept Earth isolated from the rest of the galactic community is dissolved. It means telepathic contact becomes the norm, not the exception. It means the technology of free energy, of anti-gravity, of sonic healing is slowly released to those who can handle it. Dolores predicted that after the shift, the Earth would split into two distinct densities. The old Earth would remain in the density of conflict and concealment. The new Earth would rise into a density of transparency and connection. In the new Earth timeline, contact is not a shocking event. It is a reunion. It is the moment we realize we have never been alone. The solar flash, or the great wave of energy we discussed in our previous briefings, is the mechanism that facilitates this. It raises the vibration of the planet high enough that the galactics who exist in a higher density can become visible to us. We rise to meet them. They lower their frequency slightly to meet us. And in the middle, in the 2026 window, we touch. But now, here is the twist. This is the part of the message that most people get wrong. This is the secret that changes everything. They are not coming to save us. Dolores was very firm on this point. They cannot do our homework for us. If they swooped in and fixed our climate, removed our corrupt leaders, and fed us, we would not learn. We would not evolve. We would trade one set of masters for another. They respect the law of free will too much to intervene in our growth. They are like parents watching a toddler learn to walk. They will move the sharp objects out of the way, the nuclear weapons, but they cannot walk for us. So if they are not here to save us, who are they here for? They are here for you. They are here for the ground crew. This was the greatest revelation of Dolores Cannon's career. She discovered that the vast majority of souls awakening on Earth right now are not from Earth. You are the aliens. You are the extraterrestrials. You are the Galactic Federation in human suits. You volunteered to come here. You volunteered to have your memory wiped. You volunteered to be born into dense, heavy families, to suffer, to forget, and to struggle. Why? Because the only way to change a planet is from the inside. They couldn't just land and impose their will. That would be an invasion. So, they infiltrated. They sent their best, their brightest, their strongest souls. Souls like you to be born as human babies. The mission was simple but dangerous. Get in, survive the amnesia, and then when the signal is given, wake up. Wake up and remember who you are. Wake up and hold the frequency of your home world. By simply being here, by holding a vibration of love and peace in a world of war, you are transforming the planet. You are the antenna. You are the portal. But let's be honest, being the ground crew is not easy. In fact, it is the hardest thing you have ever done. Dolores described the 3 waves of volunteers and the struggle they face. The first wave, born after the bomb in the late 40s and 50s, had the hardest time. They didn't want to be here. They felt suicidal, depressed, and alienated their whole lives. They paved the way. The second wave, born in the 60s and 70s, focused on channeling energy. They just wanted to be invisible. The third wave, the new children, are coming in with their DNA already activated. But for all of you, the density of Earth is painful. It feels heavy. Violence makes you physically sick. Lies feel like sandpaper on your skin. You have spent your whole life looking at the stars and saying, "I want to go home." The signal they are sending right now, the reason this video found you, is to tell you you are almost home. But you are not going back there. You are bringing home here. That feeling of homesickness, that is your team checking in. That feeling of not belonging, that is the confirmation that you are an agent of change. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to be the system buster. You agreed to come here to turn the tide at the last second. So, how do you know for sure if you are part of this ground crew? How do you know if you are one of the ones they are signaling? Check your body right now. Do you have a ringing in your ears that changes pitch, getting louder when you talk about spiritual things? That is them tuning your frequency, calibrating your receiver. Do you have vivid dreams where you are on a ship or in a crystal city or looking at a sky with 2 moons? That is your soul visiting home to recharge. Do you feel a sudden intense aversion to violence, to lies, to artificial food, to the drama of the old world? Your biology is rejecting the old matrix because it is incompatible with your true nature. Do you have a deep, unshakable knowing that something big is about to happen? A feeling of waiting that you've had since you were a child? That is your mission timer and the alarm is going off. If you answered yes to these questions, your activation is complete. You are online. The sleeper agent has awakened. The Federation is doing their part. They are stabilizing the grid. They are neutralizing the threats. Now you must do yours. You must hold the light. When the world panics, you must stay calm. When the news spreads fear, you must spread hope. When the systems crumble, you must envision the new ones. You are the stabilizer. You are the lighthouse in the storm. We are going to send a signal back to them right now. A conscious collective signal that proves the ground crew is awake and active. We are going to use the power of our voice and our intent to lock this timeline in. Go to the comments below and write this galactic command. I am the ground crew. I am ready for contact. Let this simple sentence be the beacon that lights up the planetary grid. Let them see us. Let them know that we remember. The quarantine is lifting. The family is reuniting. The long era of isolation is over. And you are the bridge they will walk across. You are the open door. Stay in the light. Hold the frequency. We are almost home.